Alright everybody, today we are going to be taking a look at the bootleg Black Panther figure to decide, is it worth it? We're going to be going over paint, detail, articulation, accessories, and seeing if this is the price you want to pay to add this to your collection. Alright, now that we got the intro out of the way, let's take a look at the figure. So, straight out of the package, this thing is amazing. It stands on its own. I have no issues with it whatsoever. So, the first thing we're going to look at is the detail. Alright everybody, let's go over the detail. The detail on this figure is absolutely insane for a bootleg. It does have the intricate carvings on the mask, the silver raised lines around the eyes, the polka dot texture, I'm not sure if that's exactly what you call it, all throughout the body, the nice sculpted collar piece, which is split between the shoulders and the chest, which I think is done phenomenally, and same on the back. Now if we go down the body, you can see cloth parts raised up on that polka dotted texturing, or that dot texturing. The belt, I feel like, is a little high up, but it is sculpted super, super well, and everything kind of just blends together. Now, the legs are also done extremely well. They do have a little bit of that raised pattern, as you can see there. Moving down the leg, there's a little bit more of it. And on the ankles here, there's like these little metal brackets that go from his shin down to his ankle, leading into the panther claws. Now, the articulation does work on the feet this time around, so I'm super happy for all of that. Now, on the hands, we do have the painted claws on the inner hands. A little hard to see. We do have the bracelets on the wrist and forearm. Moving up the arm, we don't get any of that fabric texturing, but we do get more of those dot textures, which just turn out phenomenal. I'm going to move on to the back of the figure. As you can see, the collar is still split between the shoulder joints and the back, which provides for that excellent range of motion. We do have more of that cloth texturing moving down the body. And overall looks absolutely amazing. Alrighty, let's go over articulation and see if this figure is worth it. So, articulation, arms can swivel all the way around, bend at the elbow, bend at the wrists, no issues there. Can crunch all the way up, all the way down, can look up that high, down that low, head 360 degrees, neck side to side. Same on this arm, spin all the way around, especially at the biceps. And the wrist or forearm, no issues there. The amazing Yamaguchi do come on this peg joint for the wrist, so not bad at all. The legs can kick up about that high. Can probably get a little bit more, but they do pop out if you push them too far. It's not because they're loose, it's just I am pushing them way past their limit, or at least I think I am. I'm not entirely certain with this figure, with the Black Panther, as I don't own the original, but the knees can bend all the way back. Just a warning, on mine, this one was super tight. It was stuck, it was frozen in place, but I managed to dip it in some hot water, put a hair dryer on it, and now it is good as new. The ankles can go up and down, There is a hinge at the toe joint to allow more movement for the feet. So that is great. So overall, the articulation on this thing is amazing. The butterfly joints do work. Sometimes, because of the collar piece here, it does hinder the articulation. So you do have to bend this piece out and then bend it in if you want to get that mobility to work. But that is my only complaint I have with this figure itself. So overall, not bad. Now, let's go over the paint. I have not seen any paint mishaps or bleed over from the silver to the black, which is a welcome surprise. Might be hard to pick up on camera here, but everything is just done so well. Especially on the mask here, I don't see any paint bleed. Paint scrapes, any mishaps. Overall, a decent paint job. Actually, above decent. I would give this probably a 9 out of 10. Maybe a 10 out of 10. I don't know. I haven't seen any paint mishaps. It doesn't look flaky. I just haven't had any issues with it. It is caked on in a few spots, but they're not super noticeable for me to take any points away from this figure. Next up, let's go over the accessories. First up, I'd like to talk about these claw hands. These are such an amazing effect piece to put in with any figure, especially Black Panther. These are really great for photos and allow more variety in posing. You have the normal claw hands, which are painted and sculpted incredibly well and are not sharp to the touch. You have these relaxed hands, which are nice. Then you have these spear holding hands. I have the other set on the figure already, and it holds the spear really nicely. And then you have your fist hand. And then you have these energy effect hands, the kinetic energy effect hands. These are done in a nice purple translucent plastic. And then you have these energy effect pieces. These interlock together like so to create like this little aura effect. These are amazing, and they do come with little stands, but unfortunately mine were broken out of the packaging, but that's no big deal because I have a million stands. They come with every figure that you get, unless for some reason it doesn't. Not all figures do, especially the SH Figure Arts line, but they do give them away at conventions, and you can get a 10-pack at Target or eBay or Amazon for really cheap. So I'm not too concerned about that. Next, the spear is in this nice gunmetal gray. And it has this nice detailing on it. There are some minor excess plastic on the spear and some indents, but that's no problem for me. But that's going to be all the accessories for this figure, minus the stand that it does come with. I'm not going to include that in here because it comes with every bootleg revoltech figure that I do buy. The very last thing I do want to talk about is price. This thing cost me $20 on eBay. I think it was $25 after shipping. It took just a little over 2 weeks to get here, and I gotta say, it is worth every penny. The detailing, the sculpting, the articulation, the paint, It is worth the $20 I spent for it, as opposed to the 100, now 150 after MSRP on the second market. It's just worth every penny I paid for it, and I think it would be a nice addition to add to anyone's collection. Now, keep in mind, not all bootlegs are created equally. Yours could have some problems, some paint defects, some glued in joints, some frozen joints. But for this figure, I'd say it's worth it. I had a stuck joint on mine. I would say that this figure is 100% worth it at the end of the day.